Wichita is honestly booming right now. I just made a video about how Boeing just closed an $8.3 billion deal to buy back Spirit Aerosystems and keep aircraft manufacturing right here in Wichita. And then Derby just broke ground on a $160 million beach resort and an actual 4-acre lagoon in Sandy Beach in Kansas, of all places. And KDOT just kicked off the largest highway contract in state history at about $288 million, which is to rebuild Kellogg between Wichita and Andover. Those are a lot of big numbers, and those are pretty big headlines for our area. And if you watch any of my videos or other relocation videos about Wichita lately, that's probably all you've been seeing. But here is the problem. Nobody's telling you the other half of the story because growth isn't the same everywhere in this city right now. Some suburbs have incredible schools, and then some school boundaries could put your kids somewhere that you did not expect. And actually, Wichita's own school district is closing buildings while the suburbs around it are asking voters for money to build new ones. And then some neighborhoods are as safe as it gets, and others not so much. And almost nobody talks about what your insurance bill looks like once you find out Kansas really is in Tornado Alley. And so in this video, I'm going to give you both sides of the story, the real growth that's happening here, because that is real, and then the honest block by block stuff that most relocation content skips right over. And stick around to the end of this video because I'm going to give you the 3 mistakes I watch relocating families make over and over. And the first one has cost a lot of families the exact school district that they moved here for. And hey, if we haven't met yet, I am Caleb Claussen. I'm a local real estate agent here. I am a husband and I'm a father of 3 little girls. I've helped well over 200 families buy, sell, or relocate to this area. And I'm not here to sell you on Wichita. I'm just here to tell you the truth about it, the good and the not so good. That way you can decide for yourself if this is the right move for your family. And now let's start with the growth in this city because it's bigger than most people realize. Okay, so the Wichita Metro is home to over 660,000 people. And that's not a Dallas or Austin, but for a Midwest city that has spent decades being called flyover country, steady growth for us means a lot. And I'm actually starting to see that firsthand. And over the past couple of years, I've personally helped families from Colorado, Texas, California, Arizona, Washington, and a dozen other states move to Wichita. And some of those are coming back home, but a lot of them have never lived here in their entire life. And once you dig into why people are coming here, it's usually the same handful of things. It's either home prices, cost of living, commute times, schools, and people just run the numbers on a bigger city, and then they run the numbers on Wichita, and then Wichita starts to look really attractive really fast. But it's not just people moving here, there's actually a lot of money being invested as well. On top of that Boeing deal that I mentioned, there's a roughly $300 million biomedical campus going up downtown, which is bringing Wichita State, WSU Tech, and KU School of Medicine together in one place. And that's going to provide steady jobs for decades, not just a couple of years. And then near K96 in Greenwich, the city just approved funding this spring for Ignite, which is a $192 million sports and entertainment complex that's set to include an indoor surf venue and a new championships tennis facility for Wichita State. And so we've got a lot of new residents coming to the Wichita area, billions of dollars in investments, entertainment districts going up, highway money being invested. And so it's just not hard to see why people are calling Wichita one of those under the radar cities right now. But here's what I want you to notice. None of that growth is happening evenly. Some of it is downtown, some of it's in the suburbs, some of it's in neighborhoods that have been ignored for a lot of years. And where you land in all of that completely changes your experience of living here. And so let's break down the map of what it looks like, starting downtown and working our way out. So searching Wichita on a map is going to show you about a dozen different places that all feel a little bit different. So let's break it down. So downtown has changed a lot lately. You've got Old Town, Riverfront Stadium, and now that biomedical campus bringing people in every day. Delano's turned into one of those trendier pockets in town with a lot of good coffee, breweries, and restaurants popping up. It's really walkable and it's got a lot of fun things you can do. But if you've got young kids, this probably isn't where you land. It's mostly just young professionals and empty nesters. And it's great for dinner on a Friday night, but not usually where my clients with 3 kids are buying a house. And then close in the city on the east side, you've got established neighborhoods. Places like College Hill, Riverside, Eastboro are your classics. They've got tree-lined neighborhoods and they're close to downtown. These neighborhoods have tons of character, older homes and mature trees. And my honest take is that they're really charming, but older homes mean you got a lot of older wiring and older plumbing. But if character is something that matters more to you than something that's brand new, this is the spot you're probably gonna wanna be. But if you want 0 surprises on an inspection report, you're gonna wanna keep listening. And then you've got Northeast Wichita, which is kind of the overlooked middle ground right now. You got areas like Tallgrass, Willow Bend, and the waterfront that don't get talked about enough. And most of these are going to be built in the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, so they're established, but they're not falling apart. But the great thing about Northeast Wichita is they're close to tons of shopping, medical offices, and the new Children's Mercy Clinic that just opened up on Greenwich. And some of the areas are a little bit less flashy than the new construction, but you get a lot more house for the money. And now talking about the suburban growth corridors, this is where most of my relocating clients actually end up buying. So out east, you've got Andover, which is one of the most popular suburbs for families, mainly because of the school district. It consistently ranks near the top in the entire state, and you'll find new construction going around Cornerstone and Prairie Creek. And it's a bit pricier than the rest of the metro, but you're really just buying into the school district. And then on the west side, Maize is basically the mirror image of Andover in my opinion. It's got really great schools, a lot of new growth in your 53rd and 135th, and honestly the district is feeling some enrollment pressure just because so many families want to move in. And then if you keep heading west, you're gonna hit Goddard, which has more of a small town feel. There's a lot of new subdivisions that are going up near 199th and Highway 54, and you'll generally get more space for less money out there. And then north of the city, you've got Bel Air and Park City, which are both growing pretty fast. And actually Park City just opened a brand new aquatic center this summer, which tells you something about where the area is headed. And both are quite a bit more affordable than Andover, so they're pretty good options if you want newer construction without the Andover price tag. And then south of Wichita is Derby, which has always had strong schools and a strong sense of community. And now that Derby Shores has broken ground, which is that $160 million lagoon and beach development, the east and the south sides of Derby are only going to keep growing as well. And then way up north, you've got Valley Center, which is actually where I'm from. And it's a lot quieter and smaller, but it's still an easy commute into the city. And it's also got some newer construction available without the Andover level prices. And so the bottom line is that Wichita isn't really just one city. It's a dozen of small cities that all bump up against each other. And which one is right for you depends less on whether it's a good area and more of what you actually want. Do you want walkability? Do you want homes with character? Do you want something brand new? Or do you want more of a small town feel? Or if schools are the most important thing, you also need to keep that in mind. So one thing nobody explains in relocation videos is that Wichita is pretty spread out. So the layout is simple. Kellogg runs east-west, I-135 runs north-south, and the city keeps growing outward in pretty much every direction. And that's exactly why that record $288 million Kellogg project exists right now. There's just so many families that have moved out towards Andover, and that road just can't handle the traffic anymore. And it's gonna help quite a bit when it's done, but expect construction out east for the next few years. And there is a bus system in our city, but to be real, you do need a car here. It's not really a walkable city. Driving is easy though, and average commutes run around 20 minutes at the most, so there's no soul crushing and gridlock here. But here's my advice, and it's probably the most practical thing in this video. Before you fall in love with a house, make sure you drive the route that you'd actually take every day, you know, from school to work, all of that sort of thing, and take the drive at 7:45 or at 5 o'clock when it's actually busy, not just at like 2 p.m. on a random Tuesday, because that 15 minutes on paper feels very different once you're actually living it. All right, now let's move on to the thing that everybody Googles and maybe sometimes go down a rabbit hole, and that is crime. So here's the honest answer on crime. So Wichita's overall crime rate is actually higher than the national average, especially property crime, and that's real. I'm not going to sugarcoat it, but here's the part that every ranking site leaves out, and it's that crime in Wichita is pretty highly concentrated, and this is a city of neighborhoods, and that applies to safety just as much as schools or home prices. And there are parts of town, especially northwest, east, and most of the newer suburban developments where families feel completely comfortable, and there are older, more challenged pockets where the numbers skew quite a bit higher. And judging Wichita by one citywide crime score is like judging an entire state by its worst neighborhood. And so what I tell relocating families is that don't just rely on a single ranking site. Pull up the Wichita Police Department's own crime mapping tool and look block by block at the actual area that you're considering, and then cross-reference it with like Spot Crime or Neighborhood Scout, and drive the neighborhood yourself during the day and at night before you make an offer on a property. Okay, so now let's get into the piece that probably matters most if you've got kids, and that's the schools. So Wichita Public Schools, which is USD 259, is the largest school district in Kansas, and it's had a pretty rough few years, honestly. Enrollment has been dropping steadily, and the district is staring down a $42 million budget shortfall plus a mountain of deferred maintenance. And actually in 2024, they closed down 6 schools and 4 more are on the way, 2 of which are set to close after the 2026 and 2027 school year, and then 2 more will follow after that. And then how soon depends on what happens this fall, because after voters rejected a $450 million bond last year, the district is going back to the ballot this November with a new bond proposal. And all of that doesn't mean that USD 259 is bad. It's just a really huge and diverse district with some genuinely strong magnet and specialty programs, but it does mean that you need to look at the specific school that your kid would attend, not just the district name overall. But then right outside of the city, you've got Maize, which is USD 266, and Andover, USD 385, consistently ranking among the top districts in the entire state. And so that's a big reason that those suburbs have grown so fast, and families move there specifically for the schools. And then Goddard, on the other hand, is another interesting case. So the district asked voters last year for a $196 million bond to build 2 new elementary schools and upgrade integrate the fine arts, athletics, and security programs, and it failed by about 500 votes. So even though Goddard is one of the fastest growing areas around Wichita, those upgrades are on hold and the growth is still coming either way. And so here's my honest takeaway. The school quality, boundaries, and even whether a building stays open can change fast around here. And so if schools are a top priority, that's a conversation to have with someone local before you pick a house, not afterwards. All right, now let's talk about money, because this is where a lot of relocation videos stop being honest with you. So let's talk about home prices first. So the median sale price around here is running in the low $240,000 range. And then in some of the more popular suburbs like Andover or Maize, you're often looking at the $300,000 to $500,000 mark for a nicer, newer home. And then compared to Denver or Austin or California, and that's still a pretty great deal. But here's what doesn't typically make the highlight reel, and it's that property taxes have been climbing pretty hard lately. And this year, 88% of Sedgwick County homeowners saw their property valuations go up, and the median increase in property tax was about 10.8%, which is the highest jump since at least 2010. And some homeowners have even seen spikes of 20% or more in a single year. But that being said, a higher valuation on your home doesn't automatically mean that your tax bill rises by the same amount, but for a lot of people it has gone up quite a bit, and it catches folks off guard if they're used to predictable taxes somewhere else. And then there's insurance, and this one is uniquely a Kansas problem because we're in Tornado Alley, right next door to what insurance people call Hail Alley, and Kansas consistently ranks among the 5 most expensive states in the country for homeowners insurance. And believe it or not, the average premium here runs north of $4,400 a year, which is roughly 80% above the national average, and rates are up more than 40% after the last 5 years, driven almost entirely by wind and hail events. And so when you build your monthly budget, don't plug in a national average for insurance, get an actual local quote before you fall in love with a house. And if you'd like connected with a great local broker, feel free to reach out to me. And then there's the stuff that nobody asks about. So older homes and those charming close-in neighborhoods can come along with some aging wiring, older HVAC systems, and higher utility bills overall. And so a 1940s bungalow in College Hill might have a lower price tag than the new construction in Andover, but the monthly cost to run it might be higher. And so the bottom line is that Wichita is still affordable compared to most of the country, and that's definitely true, but affordable doesn't necessarily mean cheap across the board, and taxes, insurance, and utilities are exactly the costs that sneak up on people after they've signed on the dotted line for a house. All right, now let's talk about the 3 mistakes that I promised earlier in this video, and I've helped enough families move here to see the same patterns over and over. So mistake number 1 is falling in love with a house before checking the school boundaries, and this happens pretty consistently. Somebody finds the perfect house, puts in an offer, and then only afterwards realize it's zoned for a completely different school than the one 2 streets over. And around here, district lines can split a neighborhood right down the middle, and so you always need to check the exact address against the district map before you get emotionally attached. And then mistake number 2 is assuming that all the suburbs are interchangeable. So Andover, Maize, Goddard, Derby, they all get lumped together as the Wichita suburbs online, but each one has a pretty different pace, price point, and personality to it. And so treating them all like one option instead of researching each one is how people end up somewhere that doesn't actually fit their family. And then mistake number 3, and this is the biggest one, and it's trying to figure out all of this from a listing description. So Zillow can't tell you which side of a street feeds into which school, or which subdivision floods during a hard rain, or which neighborhood has quietly turned around in the last 2 years. And that's just the kind of thing that you only get from someone on the ground like myself every day. And so there you have it. That's the honest version of Wichita. We've got a lot of real growth, real momentum happening, real investment happening all over the metro, but also real trade-offs and some real homework that you probably should do before you make a decision. But all this is a whole lot easier to do if you're working with someone that works in the city every day like I do. And so if you're thinking about relocating here, that's exactly what I do every day. Feel free to reach out to me, and my team and I would love to help discuss and figure out where would be the best spot for your family. And so you can check out some of my free resources down in the description below, or book a call. My team and I would love to help. But that's all I have for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.